The Fox 61 News at 6 starts now.
We are following breaking news out of Hartford now at 6. A teen and an adult man were shot a few hours ago. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brent Hart.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. This happened on Farmington Avenue, and that's where we find Fox 61's Jalen Anderson. So, Jalen, what can you tell us?
So we can't confirm that those males were 17-year-old and 37-year-olds, but I'm going to step out the way. Now, they were picking up shell casings, but what I want to show you guys is the police. They are towing a car right now. When I came a little closer to the scene, that car has a bunch of bullet holes through it. If I had to count, I would think it was probably about 15 or 20 bullet holes in it, and they are towing this car away right now. The scene is pretty much clear. They have opened up this pretty much shopping center. Now it's back open to the public, but as you can see right here, a car was involved in this shooting, so they are taking this car away to, further investigate on this shooting. Now the police say they don't have a suspect at this moment, but for now the scene is pretty much wrapping up here. So we will continue to update you on air and online. For now, reporting live in Hartford, Jalen Anderson, Fox 61.
Jalen, thank you. We are learning more about the 3 victims police rescued from a human trafficking operation in Hartford that we first learned about a couple of months ago. Police say the victims were lured by the traffickers online. 7
people ranging in ages from 18 to 51 were arrested as part of this investigation. Fox 61's Solene Arif shares what police say happened to those victims.
We've now learned all 3 victims who were trafficked knew each other and were trafficked together as a group. They didn't meet their abusers in person, but they met them on a social media app. Standing next to members from the District Attorney's Office, Connecticut Children's Alliance, and Love 146, police shared the victims were talking to the suspects online for at least a month before they were trafficked. They say the victims were groomed and went missing for 3 days before police caught up to them. The victims have a lot to recover from, but police say they've been a very important part of their investigation. The victims were reportedly moved from place to place to throw off any trail, and Lieutenant Sean Michael says these days luring victims through social media is becoming more and more common.
The Special Investigations Division, I actually have a team of detectives that solely concentrates on undercover online work, specifically to stop proactively these different means that they use to lure these children from social media apps.
Hartford police say they still have more suspects they're looking at in this case, so more arrests could be made in the future. Reporting in Hartford, Solene Air, Fox 61.
A man who pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting a child for more than a decade was sentenced today in New Britain Superior Court. Roger Berriault was sentenced to 25 years in prison, followed by 20 years probation. Berriault was accused of repeatedly sexually assaulting and impregnating a young girl in his care. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules was in the courtroom and heard new statements from the victim.
In her impact statement, the victim, identified as CE, said Berriault took something she could never get back, her childhood and her innocence.
This is not a joyful moment for her. It's not one of victory. It's one of conclusion for sure.
Nate Baber, CE's attorney, says they are glad to see the man responsible for so much pain be put behind bars.
It feels like justice has been done for so long and hasn't, whether it's different agencies within the state of Connecticut that have let her down, her family members that have let her down, his family members. Now is a reckoning, and that's what it felt like for her.
Roger Berriault chose not to speak at his sentencing. The judge handed down a 25-year sentence for the first-degree sexual assault, suspended after 10 years with a 5-year mandatory minimum sentence. Following his prison term, he'll be on probation for 20 years. Prosecutors say the abuse began when CE was 8 or 9 years old and ended when she was 19 or 20. CE was just 12 years old when she became pregnant with his child and gave birth when she was 13. In her impact statement, CE says she wakes up afraid and questions everyone. She says at such a young age she wasn't ready to be a mother, but Berriault chose to ignore that she was a child. The victim was emotional as Berriault was put in handcuffs and led out of the courtroom. His wife, Darlene Berriault, was also charged in the case with risk of injury to a child. Baber says this isn't the end of her journey for justice.
She's looking forward to continuing the fight.
The victim has a $30 million claim against the Department of Children and Families.
It's terrible when you read these records and see how many opportunities the Department of Children and Families had to save her, legitimately save her. And they failed.
While no amount of money will change what happened to the victim, Baber says she deserves compensation for all that she went through.
It's really discouraging to review it, and it's more discouraging that she has to fight so hard to get something that she so obviously deserves.
Baber says a hearing for the victim's claim against DCF will be held in February of next year. In New Britain, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Alicia, thank you. Woodstock Middle School says a student brought a bullet to school today. The school went into lockdown around 1 this afternoon. State police identified the student more than an hour and a half later. Because of the timing, school dismissal was delayed. Officials say nobody was hurt. All right, turning to the weather now. Meteorologist Sam Sampiri is here. The sun coming back out a little bit. Don't get used to it. You know, this is Connecticut in the fall.
Yeah, it is. But you say there's rain for a little bit of the weekend. Yeah.
So the good news is we are going to have sunshine tomorrow. It's typical November weather. You know, November is one of the cloudiest months of the year.
Look at that statistic.
Yeah. Well, we'll just throw that out there for fun. Temperatures today, we're in the 40s to near 50. Now, these temperatures here are a couple of degrees below normal, but all in all, this is pretty much what you can expect. Right now, we're down to 36 in Winsted, 38 in New Hartford, 39 Wallingford, 40s to near 50 there in the New Haven area, and you can see 37 in Torrington. So obviously cooler up in northwestern Connecticut, warmest readings along the shore and the urban center. And yeah, here's another temperature map just showing about the same thing. We have the wind, and the wind is 5 to 10 miles per hour, and some wind gusts are still out there. They're starting to weaken. We have this northwest flow, a couple little fronts coming down to reinforce the cooler than normal air. So overnight, partly cloudy to clear, and by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to have temperatures down in the lower 30s. Some of us can be in the upper 20s, and then during the day tomorrow, high temperatures topping out into the, again, upper 40s to near 50. Much like today, maybe a little bit more sunshine. Coming up, I'll detail the weekend. I'll time out the rain. The good news is it's going to rain at night, not during the day. Details coming up in a few minutes, guys.
All right, Sam, thank you. Well, more than a year and a half after a jury found Michelle Troconis guilty in connection to Jennifer Farber-Dulos' death, Troconis' legal team is appealing that conviction. Now, we read through the more than 1,000-page appeal. Her lawyers argue police violated her constitutional rights through illegal searches, coercive interrogations, and by hiding key evidence that would have helped her. According to the document, her attorney claims investigators went too far, seizing her home for days and pressuring her into giving statements after an unlawful arrest. The appeal also argues the judge wrongly stopped the defense from using a sealed custody report that supported Troconis' belief that Dulos' divorce was almost settled, a detail her lawyers say undercuts the state's claim about her motive. Now, Troconis is currently serving her more than 14-year sentence. She is asking the Connecticut Appellate Court to throw out her convictions or give her a new trial.
Bristol police identified the woman who died after she was found pinned underneath her car Sunday night. Officials say 69-year-old Deborah Martin was face down under the driver's door in her driveway on Rockwell Avenue. EMS pronounced her dead right there at the scene. It's still unclear how this happened and how Martin died. Investigators are still looking into this. Retired K-9 Rosso of Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier died yesterday. Connecticut State Police say he died after a recent medical diagnosis, but they didn't say exactly what it was. Pelletier and Rosso graduated together from the patrol and firearms detection class. The duo kept the community safe for nearly 2.5 years until Pelletier's death in May of last year. Rosso will be remembered for his loyalty, bravery, and service, but also for being a beloved companion and family member. Newington's Animal Control says this Cane Corso is still wagging his tail after he was hit by a car and found severely malnourished earlier this month. The dog was found wandering near the Clem Lemire Recreational Complex dugout. Animal Control officers rescued him and named him Dugout, and call him Doug for short. Officials say his leg may have to be amputated, though. Anyone with information about the dog should contact Desmond's Army Animal Law Advocates. They're offering a $5,000 reward for information. Desmond's Army Animal Control, Animal Law activists are also offering a $5,000 reward for information to find the person who abandoned this pregnant pit bull earlier this week. Bark CT provided emergency surgery to Cassie to birth her puppies. Unfortunately, none of them survived. A private foster home is taking care of her, and we hear she's doing well. Police say Cassie was tied to a sign near Cherry Street while in labor. If you can help with the investigation, you should contact police.
Well, federal workers went back to work today for the first time in 43 days. The House passed the funding bill last night, and President Donald Trump signed off on it shortly afterward. But just because the shutdown is over doesn't mean the impacts go away right away. If you're flying this weekend, here's what you need to know. The FAA says the flight cuts will stay at 6% instead of rising to 10%, but the 6% will stay in place while officials figure out whether the air traffic system can safely return to normal operation. The FAA didn't provide a timeline. If you receive SNAP benefits, the funding bill passed last night will keep your EBT cards loaded until September of next year. Now, here in Connecticut, the state already paid out benefits to people, but people in other states are still waiting. The USDA says funds could be available within 24 hours of the government reopening. Finally, if you are a furloughed government worker, the Trump administration says you could get your paycheck as early as Saturday. They say they aim to pay all federal workers by Wednesday. As for last night's vote, all Connecticut representatives voted no on the bill. They all expressed the need to extend health care subsidies, which was not included in this funding bill. Senators promised to come together again next month to vote on those health care subsidies, referred to as enhanced premium tax credits, before they expire by the end of the year.